Hey, it's James Tiernan with a new episode of Friday with Friends. I've got a special guest all the way from Queens, New York. I can't wait for you to meet him. Let's take a look. Hey, Evan, how you doing today?
I am doing great. I love your intro, man. Everything that you're doing, I love it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, for everybody on who's listening, Evans is a good friend of mine from Queens, New York, and we're going to talk about all things New York. So, tell us a little bit about your background and how long you've been doing this.
Well, I've been in real estate for about 11 years now.
Okay.
Before that, I was working at the Wall Street Journal. I was doing that for 13 years. And then in between that time, I was also working as a loan officer. I met a gentleman, my business partner who sits back there, Dean Graber. We became fast friends, became best friends now. And during that time, transferred from mortgage world to real estate. And I realized this is where I needed to be. And been doing that for 11 years now. And here I am.
Awesome. What is it that made you want to be a realtor?
What It's kind of a loaded question. You know what? I don't want to give the same answer that everybody else gives. It's like because I love helping people. Yes, I do love helping people, but it's kind of the satisfaction in knowing that you had a part to play, and wow, they bettered their lives basically because they sat down, spoke with you, and you were able to change lives. That's kind of one of the things I really like doing, whether it's
Awesome.
buying or the selling side.
Awesome. Well, at least you're not saying, well, I like looking at houses. I get that all the time. Why do I be? I love looking at houses.
I mean, I like looking at them, but some days I like dealing with the people more. I'm like, all right, tell me exactly what you're looking for. What exactly are you looking to do? And boom, let's see if we can make this happen, make it work.
Yeah, it's all about connecting with people and helping them get what they want. So, what I like to think about when we talk to agents like you is tell us about your market. What is it that people need to know if they're thinking about making a move to Brooklyn? And just tell us a little bit about the area as well. While you're talking, I'm gonna bring in the map so we can see where you are and what it is that where exactly where Queens is, because in the middle of the country sometimes you get lost and we think New York is all the
Yes.
same place.
All right. Here's the thing. I'm originally from Brooklyn. I
Okay.
grew up in Brooklyn for. I'm actually going to say my age. I just turned 50, which kind of pains me to say that out loud. So majority of my life I lived in Brooklyn. About 20, close to 20 years now, I'm in Queens. So Brooklyn, if you're asking me what's the difference between Brooklyn and Queens, there's a major difference between all the boroughs. Who has the best pizza? I'm going to say Brooklyn. Sorry, Queens. Even though I live in Queens, Queens has good pizza. But if you want to know how to get around Brooklyn, you can get around majority of the time subway, bus. You can drive. Queens, if you're living in Queens, you think about moving to Queens, you definitely need a car, access to Uber. You need to be able to move quickly in Queens. Queens, for a lot of people who don't know this, we have the two airports. We have JFK and LaGuardia. Both are in Queens. And we have a lot of Queens is how do I say this nicely? It's a melting pot. All of New York is a melting pot, but Queens represents the melting pot altogether. You can go from one corner, you'll have a specific group of people. Another corner, you'll have a specific group of people. There's many languages spoken here in New York, especially in Queens. Like I said, it's the hub. If you're a foodie, you're gonna love New York because there's all kinds of food everywhere, different kinds of properties also. So you can go to one neighborhood, it's mostly condos, co-ops, and then you'll go to another area. You'll have Archie Bunker homes. For those of you who are a certain age, that you'll find homes like that, homes like King of Queens, which all were based here in Queens. There's a lot of diversity, as I mentioned, diversity of food, diversity in people, diversity in properties. There's just a lot of things to do and a lot of activities that you can do here in Queens as well. And then you have Long Island, which is on the other side.
So so Queens is part of Long Island, right?
Yes, technically, it was part of Brooklyn was his own thing, and then Queens was part of Long Island, and they broke off. I think
I mean,
Queens and Brooklyn were part of.
geographically speaking, they're part of
Yeah,
Long Island, right? But
yeah,
they're separate entities, right?
yes. I don't really know how to describe. If you're from here, it's easy to explain it to. If you're not from here, it's kind of difficult to explain it to someone who's not from this area. But it's its own thing. And then Long Island is its own. You have two large counties. You have Nassau County and then you have Suffolk County. So each one is different. Each town is different within those counties. Same thing with Queens. Same thing with Brooklyn.
Yeah, so I mean, what I know about New York, you can fit on a pinhead. It's between Friends and How I Met Your Mother, right? So they'd always make fun of like people with a different area code, right? If you're not,
Yes.
if you're not 212, you're I don't know. I mean,
Two
we
one
have the
two
same
seven
thing
one
here,
eight 516
you
three
know.
four seven 929. There's different area codes. We have New Yorkers are competitive amongst ourselves, but we're the most friendliest people. Um, People get afraid, basically thinking coming to New York that hey, it's gonna be scary. They're very rude. No, we're just very direct, but we will help you out. If we consider you family, it's just like any big family. You're part of our family. We can make fun of each other. We will protect you. If there's an outsider coming out, basically, just like in any family, if we're brothers and sisters, we're fighting with them amongst ourselves, but we will take care of you. Any outsiders that come in, basically, we will huddle around you and protect you. That's just how New Yorkers are.
Sure, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's pretty tight knit there because everybody's right there, right? There's it's a lot of city living. Everybody's on top of each other, but they all take care of each other.
Yes, you have some portions where you're literally on top of each other, and you have other places where you want more space. You have plenty of space, but your neighbors will do look out for you. Obviously, you have to do the same for them.
Of course, yeah. So, so what are the things that I mean? I know everybody's drawn to New York when you think about Broadway and making it big and that type of stuff, but you're not the downtown New York, right? You're a little bit different.
Well, we are downtown. That you're talking about the city. A lot of the jobs are in the city. You have a lot of jobs out in the boroughs as well. The city is basically like when you looked at the map, the city's right here, and then you have the boroughs like circling around it. Um, if you look at the map right there where it says New York, it looks like the Eiffel Tower. Not Eiffel Tower. I'm sorry. I'm in New
Did
York.
you say Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, that's how nervous I am. The Empire State Building. I think that's what that is. Yeah, it's the Empire State Building. If you look at that, that's the whole city right there. You have concerts. You have the MSG is there. You have all kinds of stuff. Jacob Javits Center is there. There's all kinds of stuff in the city. If you go on the right hand side, that you're going into Brooklyn. There's many bridges. There's tunnels basically going from the city to Brooklyn to Queens. On the other side, that's New Jersey. They're like our distant cousin, and unfortunately, they have the stadiums where the Jets and Giants play. Kind of a
Right,
source.
right. Meadowlands.
Yes. We have a little thing going back and forth between Jersey and New York. Who actually is claiming the Giants and who's claiming the Jets? We call them the New York Jets, and so it's the other way. It's the other way around. The New York Giants, excuse me, the Jets basically we leave that for Jersey, but depending on who you're a fan of, because Aaron Rodgers is here, yay. If you're a fan of him, then basically if you want to be in New York and claim him, then you do. But it is what it is. We're a big sports town. We have lots of sports. We have Brooklyn. We have in Brooklyn we have Barclays Center. That's where the Nets play. In the city we have the Knicks. We have the Rangers. Well, Long Island we have the Islanders. Um, we have the New York. I forget the name of the soccer team, football team. I think they're the Metro Stars or something to that effect. But we have a large population of people who are getting into soccer, football, and there's lots of sports here as well. Like I said, New Yorkers, we love to eat, so there's food everywhere. You are not going to starve in New York.
So, what are the common things that everybody comes to New York to get? I mean, you think about New York pizza. What
Yes.
else comes to mind? I mean, every area is famous for something. So, what's some of the things that New York's famous for besides the
If,
pizza?
if you're coming to visit, you have to find Junior's Cheesecake.
What's that?
Junior's Cheesecake.
Junior's cheesecake. Okay, I've never heard of that one.
Um, they have a website, I believe it's juniorscheesecake.com or something like that. Look it up. Um, I don't want to say too much, but basically it's some of the best cheesecake. There's different varieties of cheesecake that they have. You can order anywhere basically, and they'll deliver it to you. But if you do come to the city, they have a restaurant, I believe, on 45th, 46th.
Okay.
They have a restaurant. They serve regular food, but try their cheesecake. And I'm saying nothing else. I'm like, these cheesecake can cause fights in your household. Like, who ate the last one?
Really?
I was looking forward to this last slice, and it's gone. So you can start a fight in your home, in your household. That's how good these things are.
All right. All right.
Other than that, food wise, as a New Yorker, I'm sorry, not popular opinion. I do not eat the street meat. We don't eat street meat here in New York. A lot of us don't. If you're going and you're visiting, my hat's off to you. If you're brave enough to eat the street meat, which is the vendors that are out there selling hot dogs and whatnot, we try not to eat that stuff. Stick to the pizzas. You cannot go wrong with any pizzeria that usually has John or Tony's in front of it. You can't go wrong. There's different kinds of pizzas here in New York, and I'm sorry, I'm claiming for the whole of New York, we have the best pizzas.
Well, Chicago pizza is pretty well known, and it's not one of those floppy ones. If you get those big hearty things, you got to eat with a knife and fork. So, it's not a floppy mess you get from New York.
That's the whole beauty of New York. It's a floppy thing, and you don't have to be prim and proper with the fork and knife. You're in a rush. You get the pizza. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I had pizza this afternoon. This is
And
the
he's
shirt
wearing it.
It got floppy. Some of the sauce got on here, but as a New Yorker, you're always prepared. You always have an extra shirt somewhere.
Well, when you come out to Chicago, you have to try the Chicago pizza, and it's not about being prim proper. It's like you can't pick it up because it's so heavy. You can't fold over a deep dish pizza. That's just not how it works.
I'm gonna attempt to,
Well,
and we'll film that too.
yeah, we have to get that on film because that's not happening. If you want to fold something, you can get some thin crust stuff, and you'll probably spit that up.
Uh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Another thing about New York, like I said, we're very friendly here. It's just you have to be direct. You can't beat around the bush. And I mean, people misunderstand New York basically as rude, but we're not. It's just like I said, we're direct. It's pretty much don't beat around the bush. Just spit out what you need to say.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, tell us a little bit about the real estate market in Queens. I'm
All
sure
right.
it's different about than the downtown, Central Park real estate market, right?
That's its own animal altogether. Queens, it depends on where you go in Queens. You have $1 million homes on one side, then you have stuff that's like under like 600 and change. It really depends on what you're looking for. There's something for everybody in Queens. We have condos, we have co-ops, we have everything here. Just like the rest of the country, there is a lack of inventory. We're doing our best to reach out to people. There are a lot of people who need to downsize for whatever reason. Life situations happen. People are getting married. Unfortunately, people are passing away. People have job opportunities other places, so they're moving. So there is opportunity here if you want to purchase something, if you want to make that move. Um, Price range based in the areas that I focus in, I'm going to say if you're looking at Queens, I would say about 625, 650 ish. It really depends. That's when one family you're looking at maybe 3 to 4 bedrooms. In Long Island or borderline of Queens and Long Island, the Nassau Queens area, I would say if you're on the Nassau side, it'd probably be around 550 to about six and change in that area. Taxes vary from town to town also. So in Queens, you can have taxes as low as 5,000 to 6,000 and maybe 12,000 in another part of Queens. So there's different sections of Queens, different pockets of Queens. So you might
Okay.
find condos and co-ops on one side or co-ops one place, condos more on the other side and stuff like that.
Do you find a lot of people that live in Queens are commuting to the city?
A lot of people, just like the rest of the country during COVID, a lot of people realized when COVID happened, they decided, hey, we're going to work. If they could work remote, and a lot of people took that opportunity to heart. A lot of people reevaluate where their job was or what they really wanted to do in life, and they decided, hey, maybe I'm going to keep this job, or maybe I'm not. I'm realizing I don't need to be in the office anymore, and I'm like realizing I had this dream to do XYZ, and now's my opportunity to do it. And there are a lot of people flourishing. They quit their job, they did what their dream, what their calling was, and they're flourishing. You can go into the city if you want to. If whatever job you are lucky to have, um, you can have a remote thing. You can do a hybrid, go to the office a couple of days of the week, and work from home the next couple of days. It really depends on your job. There's different industries here in New York. Is not just, I can't say it's just one thing. We have a lot of medical. We have a lot of teachers. We have pretty much everything.
Sure.
There's a long list.
Okay. So that being said, who are some of the top employers that are drawing people into the area?
Top employers. We have lots of teachers here. A lot of teachers. A lot of my clients are teachers. A lot of them are nurses. A lot of them are doctors. Um, we have a large financial district in Manhattan, so there's a lot of people. There's different companies in the financial district. You have a lot of internet-based companies as well. On the Long Island side, there's a lot of financial institutions as well. A lot of banking. There's a lot of companies here. It's hard to just pinpoint basically specific names. Of like there's a lot of opportunity here.
Okay. So now here's another question that, as we talked, it just made me question different things. When we see the mayor of New York, you know, how far does the mayor of New York cover? Like, is there a mayor of Queens and the mayor of Brooklyn? Is that all part of it?
We have one mayor basically for the whole. Well, I don't want to say tri-state for Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx. But in each town, each borough, there's a borough president.
Okay.
So we have a borough president for Queens. We have a borough president for the Bronx, for Brooklyn. Um, I'm going to toot my own horn. A past client of mine happens to be the borough president of Queens right now. So I'm kind of, hey, I sold that guy a house, and he's a borough president. So there's a borough president, and then you have the mayor. Long Island and Suffolk County, they have account executives. So it's kind of like their version of what we have as well. So, but the mayor is pretty much in charge of everything, depending on who you ask, because New Yorkers basically were very opinionated, basically who's really in charge of what.
Right, right. So, well, here's another question. It's kind of a fun question. So, where's Batman live? Because New York
Uh,
is always thought of as Gotham.
it is. It's funny you mentioned that. Literally behind this wall. Hold on, I don't know if you can hear me. My coworker is a big Batman fan, so every time we
Shocking.
say Batman, he'll usually comment. So Batman for me lives next door, and I'm the joke. Batman, I would say the DC universe, Gotham City is New York, unofficially, officially. Metropolis is New York, unofficially, officially. Batman, if I had to guess where he actually lived, where his actual Batcave,
Where
I would
Wayne
probably
Manor is, right?
I would say, yeah, probably Westchester area around there, maybe somewhere in Connecticut. He's definitely
Oh,
not
so
in the
he's not
city.
even a New Yorker.
We'll still claim him.
All right, all right. I got you. That's a good one. So, for the people that are thinking about making a move to Queens, or just the area in general, whether it's the Bronx, Brooklyn, or Queens, or maybe even downtown Manhattan, what are like three good tips for them, that you could offer them?
Do your research, number one. Find out what your lifestyle is, where you want to go. Do you want to live in a building? Do you need more space? Do you have pets? Find out, do your research for that. Find a realtor that basically has knowledge of all those areas. And
So that would be you, right? Yeah.
just in
So
case,
we've got that one covered.
yes. And the third one, hmm, go with your gut. Go with your gut. You do the first two things. If you see something you like an area and whatnot. I always say this to people whenever we're looking at properties. Everything with me is always about food. So you go three different times: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You go in that area. If you're not sure, you're going to go in those areas basically in those specific times and see if you like the environment. And if it makes sense to you and your gut is like, yes, this is where I want to be, you go with your gut.
Okay. So know the area, work with Evans, and go with your gut. And I think go with your gut means really work with Evans.
I don't like blowing my own horn, but toot toot.
Yeah, well, you got to do it. What you got to do, what you got to do, right? That's part of the real estate game. because
Yeah.
there's no one out here doing it for you.
Well, here's the thing. Myself, my team, our whole team is believe we want to make sure the client's happy, they're satisfied with everything that we're giving them and the service that we're giving them. We want to do such a great job. Obviously, if you're referring them to us, we want to make sure we're doing a good job. So you look good, we look good. But more importantly, we want to make sure that they're referring us more business as well. So they like what we did with them. They're trusting us with his Aunt Sally, his grandma, his Uncle Ben, his cousin Joe, his Sal. Basically, we're not sure how he's related to our family, but find him a house, whatever the case may be. So we want to make sure we're not just doing it for one deal. We're looking for the long haul. Is basically we want to be your realtors for life and the whole family, everybody you know, that we're doing such a great job that you're recommending us to the rest of the family,
Yeah, I
even
mean
that cousin you don't like.
that's the magic, right? If you do a great job, people will tell their friends.
Well, it goes both ways. If you do a great job, they'll tell all their friends. If you do a bad job, they'll tell all their friends. So
Well,
I'm
yeah,
happy to say, and I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for you as well. We do a great job based on our clients that they're telling all their friends.
absolutely, absolutely. Now, what's the best way for people to get connected with you if they have questions and they want to know more about the area?
All right, you can find me on social media. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I do not dance on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. You can, if you look on the ticker on the bottom, you'll see my email address, which is Saint-Gerard. There's a hyphen or dash in between Saint and Gerard at kw.com, and my phone number, which is my cell, which is always with me. The number is 917-975-5985. I'm sorry, I'm a New Yorker, so I speak fast, so let me slow down. 917-975-5985. There's one thing about New Yorkers, we do talk fast, and sometimes we have to slow down to speed up sometimes. So excuse anybody who's watching this, like, what the hell did you just say?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And they can always play it again. And of
Yes.
course, we've got on the ticker to make it easy for everybody. Hey, Evans, thanks so much. It's been great talking with you and sharing all the things that we need to know about New York and all the things that we didn't know as well.
There's a lot of activity here. There's too much things to name in New York. There's stuff in the city. There's stuff in Queens. If you like outdoors, there's plenty of stuff to do outdoors. If you like food, New York is the place that you need to be, especially for the pizza.
Yeah, we'll talk about the pizza later.
We're gonna have pizza wars at one point.
Yeah, that's something that'll work. Hey, Evans, thanks so much for sharing everything. My friends, if you have questions, you want to know more, you reach out to Evans or you reach out to me directly. You know where to find me. I'm James Tiernan from the Tiernan Group at Keller Williams North Shore West, your guide to real estate. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, James.